Macron chased out in Nairobi, huge anti-colonial protests, a desperate empire hits a brick wall. Welcome back to our channel. You're watching The Global Observer. The ground is shaking in East Africa today. French President Emmanuel Macron landed in Nairobi, Kenya, expecting a red carpet. Instead, he walked right into a wall of pure fury. Massive protests have erupted, and the message from the youth is loud and clear. Africa is done with the old rules of the game. Macron recently stood before the camera and claimed that West African nations made a mistake by kicking out French troops, but the streets are flaring and firing back. People are asking for just one positive result France achieved during decades of military presence. The answer: zero. Tonight, we break down how the French leader was humiliated on Kenyan soil, the collapse of the colonial currency trap, and while the epicenter of his own language has officially left Paris. For years, Paris told the Sahel that French troops were there to fight terrorism and poverty. But after decades of this protection, the security situation only got worse. Now that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have officially thrown those troops out, Macron is visibly panicking. He is traveling the continent trying to sweet-talk African leaders back into the old deals. But the modern African population has completely changed. They look at the heritage of French intervention in Libya and Sahel, and they see nothing but destruction. While Russian forces are moving actively helping local armies fight back, the colonial and old masters are left standing outside in the cold. The youth are awake and they now know exactly where the instability was being manufactured. The desperation to hold on to Africa isn't just about military bases, it is about massive financial system that has kept West Africa in chains. Let's talk about the currency trap known as the CFA franc. Imagine running a business where a foreign bank controls your wallet, sets your prices, and takes a cut of every dollar you make. This is the reality African nations are dismantling. Macron previously claimed he was ready to clear the rules and the game by removing some reserve requirements. But it was just another optical illusion to keep the exchange rate from floating freely. He wants the world to believe he is a reformer, but in reality, he is an Africanist. Someone who feeds off the continent while pretending to love it. Through Pan-Africanists want total monetary freedom. The interest of West Africa today is to completely dump the constraints of the CFA franc. The leaders of the Alliance of the Sahel states are doing exactly that, refusing to wear the imported economic dress that was forced upon their grandparents. As this economic shield crumbles, Macron's cultural grip is slipping away too. During these travels, the French president actually admitted on global television that the true center of the French language is no longer the banks of the Seine in France. It is the Congo River basin in Africa. This admission has triggered massive outrage back home in France. Right-wing citizens are flooding social media furious that their own leader is saying French culture now belongs to the African continent. They are counting down the days until May 2027, which is when Macron's contract officially ends. The French public is eager to clear him out of the office. But for Africa, his cultural statements are just a desperate attempt to win back trust. He praises African language growth and talks about internal French demographic just to flatter the continent. But you cannot erase decades of exploitation with a smooth speech and a smile. The shift in energy was highly visible on the red carpet in Nairobi. African influencers and the awakened youth watched every move like hawks. The days of African leaders and figures going to the Elysee Palace to be treated like secondary players are over. If any modern figure makes a mistake or compromises with the old guard, the public response is instant. The collective prayer across the continent is for the total protection of the AES leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traoré and Assimi Goïta, who are standing on the front lines. They are building an iron wall against economic terrorism. Macron knows his time is running out before the 2027 deal transition, and a wounded empire is always the most dangerous. There are deep concerns that foreign interference will try to intensify destabilization and ruin local economies before the final exit. But the structural cleanup has already begun and it cannot be stopped. The black winter for colonial influence has arrived. Africa is no longer a territory to be managed by a failing European state that cannot even fix its own domestic economy. The morality and integrity of the new African generation stand far above the lecture notes coming out of Paris. We are seeing a profound shift towards regional monetary and commercial integration that bypasses the old middlemen completely. The drum is beating louder every day. When a nation values its own dignity, it stops looking to the northern skies for permission to grow. The old carcass of the colonial empire is being dragged into the light, and the youth are refusing to fund its retirement. The Nairobi protests have shown that the spirit of resistance has crossed all geographic and linguistic lines. The monologue of the master is finished. The era of a sovereign heart has officially taken over. Thank you for standing with the Global Observer as we document this historic breakdown. We bring you the raw truth because an educated community is a community that can never be colonized again. Make your voice heard and let it be seen down in the comment section. What are your thoughts on Macron's latest push into East Africa? Don't forget to smash that like button, share these videos across all your platforms, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the frontline updates. Goodbye for now.